My name is Emily and I have always been fascinated by the supernatural. Ghost stories and horror movies have always thrilled me, but I never thought I would become a part of one. It all began when my friends and I decided to explore an old abandoned mansion on the outskirts of town. The mansion was said to be haunted, and stories of its dark history intrigued us. Little did we know that this decision would unleash a terrifying chain of events that would haunt us forever. It was a rainy Saturday evening when my friends, Jessica, Alex, and Ryan, gathered at my place. We were looking for some excitement and adventure to break the monotony of our small town. Jessica, always daring and curious, had heard rumors about an abandoned mansion nearby. The mansion had belonged to the Malone family, who were known for their wealth and dark secrets. The Malone mansion had been left deserted after a series of tragic events. The family had suffered mysterious deaths, and some even believed the mansion was cursed. Despite the warnings, we couldn't resist the temptation to explore its eerie halls. Armed with flashlights and a sense of anticipation, we approached the mansion under the cover of darkness. The overgrown garden and crumbling facade added to its spooky atmosphere. Cautiously, we entered through a broken window. The interior was a time capsule of forgotten opulence, but the air felt heavy with a malevolent presence. As we moved through the mansion's grand halls, strange noises echoed around us. Our hearts raced, and we wondered if we were truly alone. Suddenly, we heard a chilling voice calling our names. It seemed to be coming from the depths of the mansion. Fear gripped us, and we debated whether to stay or flee. Jessica, being the brave soul she was, urged us to keep going. "It's just our imaginations playing tricks on us," she said. However, the unease lingered, and it became evident that something wasn't right. Shadows danced on the walls, and cold gusts of wind whispered through the halls, even though there were no windows nearby. Ryan suggested we split up to cover more ground. It was a decision we would soon come to regret. As we ventured into different parts of the mansion, each group experienced inexplicable phenomena, objects moving on their own, disembodied laughter, and chilling touches that made our skin crawl. As we reunited in the mansion's main hall, we discovered the exit had mysteriously closed off. Panic set in as we realized we were trapped inside. Frantic attempts to open the doors proved futile. We were left with no choice but to find another way out or wait for help. As time passed, the darkness seemed to grow denser. The oppressive atmosphere made it hard to breathe, and we felt as if an unseen force was watching our every move. Ryan suggested we conduct a seance to communicate with any spirits present. We gathered around a dusty table, placed our hands on it, and began the ritual. The seance took an unexpected turn when the table started shaking violently. A sudden gust of wind extinguished our candles, leaving us in total darkness. Panic and terror consumed us as we felt an otherworldly presence surround us. An ominous voice spoke through the darkness, warning us to leave before it was too late. But before we could react, the room began to change. The walls bled, and horrific apparitions appeared. One by one, the ghastly figures materialized before us, their eyes glowing with malevolence. We were paralyzed with fear as the spirits revealed their tragic stories of suffering and revenge. The spirits blamed the Malone family for their torment and demanded justice. They spoke of a cursed pact the family had made with dark forces in exchange for power and riches. As descendants of the Malone lineage, we had become entangled in their sinister legacy. The spirits warned us that we had until sunrise to break the curse, or we would suffer the same fate as the Malone family. Terrified and desperate to escape, we searched for a way to lift the curse. Clues and symbols scattered throughout the mansion hinted at an ancient ritual that might hold the key to our salvation. As we delved deeper into the mansion's secrets, we found journals and artifacts related to the Malone family's dark practices. The mansion seemed to transform around us, and we couldn't tell if it was reality or a nightmare. Reality and fantasy blurred, and we questioned our sanity. Alex, the most logical among us, remained skeptical about the supernatural elements and believed there must be a rational explanation. He theorized that someone might be playing a cruel prank on us, manipulating the mansion's environment to create fear. But even Alex's skepticism wavered as we experienced more unexplainable phenomena. Apparitions followed us, and each spirit seemed to be drawn to a specific member of our group. The spirits taunted and threatened, promising unspeakable horrors if we failed to fulfill their demands. In our desperate quest for answers, we stumbled upon a hidden room in the mansion's depths. The room contained a chilling collection of items, an altar covered in blood, ancient symbols etched into the walls, and a book written in an unknown language. As Jessica cautiously opened the book, she felt an overwhelming surge of malevolence. The ancient text revealed that the spirits were bound to the mansion through a dark ritual, and only by breaking the curse could they find peace. We also learned that the curse could only be broken through a sacrificial act of redemption. As the night wore on, tensions ran high among us. Fear and suspicion brewed, and we began to turn on one another. The spirits continued to torment us, exploiting our deepest insecurities and regrets. In a moment of desperation, I confronted the apparition that haunted me the most, the vengeful spirit of a young girl named Abigail. She had died tragically due to the Malone family's actions, and her spirit sought revenge. But as I spoke to her, I sensed a glimmer of humanity in her eyes, a longing for peace that mirrored my own. I realized that to save ourselves, we needed to help the spirits find closure. Gathering our courage, we devised a plan to break the curse. The ritual required a symbolic offering of repentance, a gesture that would demonstrate our remorse for the Malone family's sins. Each of us had to confront the ghosts of the past and offer our sincerest apologies. Ryan took on the responsibility of making amends with the spirits that had haunted him. His heart-rending confession of guilt and remorse moved the apparitions, and we witnessed the first sign of forgiveness. Alex, driven by his skepticism, was determined to expose the illusion behind the haunting. But as he encountered the spirit that plagued him, his facade of rationality crumbled. He realized that the horrors we faced were all too real, and he, too, sought forgiveness for doubting their suffering. Jessica's turn came, and she faced the wrath of Abigail, the girl whose life had been shattered by the Malone family. As tears streamed down her face, Jessica expressed her sorrow and promised to honor Abigail's memory. Finally, it was my turn to confront the most sinister presence of all, the malevolent entity that had terrorized me from the start. With quivering voice, I spoke of my fascination with the supernatural and how it had blinded me to the suffering around me. I vowed to use my knowledge and curiosity to help the spirits find peace. As each of us completed the ritual, the mansion's malevolence began to subside. The spirits' wrath transformed into expressions of forgiveness and gratitude. A sense of relief washed over us, but the nightmare was far from over. The spirits revealed that to fully break the curse, we needed to find the hidden relic that bound them to the mansion. The relic was said to be a cursed object, infused with dark magic that sustained their existence. Together, we searched the mansion for the relic. It was a race against time, as the first light of dawn was already peeking through the windows. We faced numerous obstacles, from trapped doors to the malevolent presence trying to hinder our progress. In the mansion's depths, we finally stumbled upon a chamber hidden behind a tapestry. There, resting upon an ominous pedestal, was the cursed relic, a sinister-looking talisman. But as we reached for it, the malevolent presence intensified, and the apparitions returned to their vengeful forms. We were not alone in our pursuit. The spirits of the Malone family, bound to the relic's malevolence, emerged to protect it. The spirits taunted and attacked us, forcing us to confront their pain and suffering one last time. But we stood firm and united, fighting back with the strength of our remorse and newfound understanding. With each blow we dealt, the spirits weakened until they eventually dissipated into the ethereal mist. As the last spirit vanished, we felt an overwhelming surge of energy. The cursed relic began to crack and shatter, releasing a blinding light that filled the chamber. The mansion itself trembled, as if finally freeing itself from its haunted past. When the light subsided, we found ourselves standing outside the mansion, the sun rising on the horizon. The mansion was no longer abandoned, its decrepit walls had been restored to their former grandeur. We had broken the curse and lifted the malevolence that had plagued the mansion for so long. The spirits found their peace and moved on to the afterlife, no longer trapped in the dark realm. The four of us stood in awe, knowing that we had experienced something extraordinary. We had faced our fears and regrets, not just for our sakes but for the souls that had suffered before us. The night had changed us, forging an unbreakable bond between us. As we left the mansion behind, We made a pact to keep the events of that night a secret. The world wouldn't understand what we had been through, and we were content to let the mansion rest in its newfound peace. From that night on, we carried the weight of the experience with us, a reminder of the fragile line that separated the living from the dead. But we also found solace in knowing that we had helped restless souls find closure and peace. And so, the tale of the haunted mansion became a legend, a cautionary story whispered among the town's inhabitants. For those who dared to venture near, they could still feel the lingering presence of the supernatural, a testament to the night terrors that had once consumed us. Years have passed since that fateful night, but its echoes still resonate within me. The memories are a constant reminder of the supernatural realm that exists just beyond our grasp, a realm of malevolence and sorrow but also of forgiveness and redemption. I've come to appreciate the delicate balance between curiosity and respect for the unknown. The spirits we encountered were once living beings, bound by their own tragedies and misdeeds. In the end, it was their quest for peace and forgiveness that brought us all together. So, if you ever find yourself drawn to the eerie allure of the supernatural, remember the night terrors we faced in the haunted mansion. The unseen forces of the world may be beyond our understanding, but they are deserving of our empathy and compassion. And should you hear a chilling voice calling your name in the darkness, be wary. It may not just be your imagination playing tricks on you, but the echoes of those restless souls still searching for redemption in the shadows.